Why is it that some people go through life never finding the love they deeply long for? Why do their relationships seem to fall apart no matter how hard they try? You might think it's bad luck, or maybe you've wondered if there's something wrong with you. But what if I told you it's not a curse? What if it's a sign, an important sign, that Allah is protecting you from something you might not yet understand? Dear brothers and sisters, not everyone is meant to walk the same path. Some people are kept away from love, romance, and attachment for reasons far beyond what the eye can see. In Islam, when Allah removes something from your life, it's never without wisdom. Imam Shafi'i, rahmatullahi alayh, once said, "If you knew how Allah deals with your affairs for you, your heart would melt out of love for Him." So, before you see it as misfortune or let heartbreak consume you, let's reflect on 7 reasons why some people are kept away from romance and what it truly means in Allah's grand plan. 1. When Allah protects you from the wrong person. Have you ever gotten close to someone, only for everything to fall apart suddenly? You might have thought they were the one, yet the relationship never worked out. At the time, it hurt, maybe even felt unfair, but now, when you look back, you realize that staying in that relationship would have only caused you more pain. In Islam, when something repeatedly fails, it's not punishment, it's protection. Allah removes people from your life because He knows what you don't. The Quran reminds us, "But perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, or perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you, and Allah knows while you do not know." Quran 2:16. Think about how many people rush into relationships today only to end up heartbroken, betrayed, or spiritually lost. Sometimes when you don't get what you want, it's because Allah is saving you from something that could have hurt you. The real question is, do you trust Allah's plan, or do you keep chasing what He is pulling you away from? The sooner you accept that Allah's wisdom is greater than your desires, the sooner you'll find true peace. 2. When Allah protects you from what could corrupt your faith. In today's world, relationships are often treated as temporary, disposable, and based on fleeting desires rather than lasting commitment. People get into relationships for fun, not realizing that every connection leaves a mark on the heart. When your heart becomes attached to the wrong person, it can lead to spiritual blindness, where you start justifying what is haram, forgetting your purpose, and drifting away from Allah. Islam is clear. Relationships outside of marriage are not just wrong, they're dangerous for your soul. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "When a man and a woman are alone together, the third one present is shaitan." Many people don't take this seriously. They assume that as long as they mean well, it's okay. But look at what happens around us. How many people have been spiritually destroyed because of haram relationships? How many people have sacrificed their peace, self-worth, and even their connection with Allah just to please someone who was never meant for them? If you struggled to find love, it could be because Allah is protecting your heart from corruption. He knows that the wrong love can lead you to destruction, while the right love, one that is built on faith and commitment, will bring you closer to Him. But here's the real test. Will you be patient and trust Allah, or will you keep chasing something He is keeping you away from? Number 3. When Allah wants you to focus on something greater. Have you ever noticed how some people seem consumed by the idea of relationships? They spend years chasing love, getting hurt, and losing themselves in the process, while others seem to have a higher purpose guiding their lives. My dear brothers and sisters, sometimes when romance is absent from your life, it's because Allah is redirecting you towards something far more important. Instead of being distracted by emotions, heartbreak, or the pursuit of temporary happiness, He wants you to focus on building yourself, your faith, and your future. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, "Whoever focuses on the hereafter, Allah places richness in their heart, organizes their affairs, and the world comes to them humbled. But whoever focuses only on this world, Allah places poverty between their eyes and makes their affairs scattered, and they only receive from the world what was written for them." Look at history. Some of the greatest people, those who changed the world, left behind legacies and strengthened their faith, did not let their lives revolve around relationships. Instead, they used their time to build something meaningful. So the question is, are you wasting your time chasing romance, or are you using this period of solitude to strengthen your relationship with Allah and work towards something greater? Because the reality is, when you prioritize Allah, everything else falls into place. Number 4. When you learn to control your desires instead of being controlled by them. Let's be real, we are not robots. Every human has emotions, desires, and a natural longing for companionship. Islam does not ask us to suppress our feelings, but it teaches us to control them within the boundaries of faith. And this is what separates true believers from those who follow their own desires. While the world teaches us to act on every impulse, Islam teaches us to discipline our emotions. Allah says in the Quran, "But as for he who feared the position of his Lord and prevented the soul from inclination, then indeed paradise will be his refuge." The difference between a strong person and a weak person is, who controls who? Do you control your desires, or do your desires control you? Because in today's world, most people don't even try to hold themselves accountable. They follow whatever feels good in the moment, regardless of whether it's right or wrong. But if you've been struggling with this, know that this struggle itself is a sign of faith. If Allah has given you the awareness to fight against what He has forbidden, then you are already on a different path than most. The key is to redirect your emotions towards something meaningful. Because in Islam, discipline over desire is what leads to true success. The question is, are you using this time to build your strength, or are you giving in to the same cycle that leads others astray? Number 5. When Allah teaches you that true fulfillment comes from Him. In today's world, people are told that they need someone else to feel complete. If they are single, they feel like something is missing. If they are in a relationship, they feel validated. But Islam teaches us something deeper. Our true fulfillment does not come from people, but from our connection with Allah. As humans, we are not complete on our own. We are created weak, dependent, and in constant need of Allah's guidance and mercy. The problem is, many people try to fill this void with relationships, thinking that another person will heal them, fix them, or make them whole. But in reality, no human can fill a space that was meant to be filled by Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, "Whoever seeks the pleasure of Allah at the cost of displeasing people, Allah will be pleased with him and will cause people to be pleased with him. But whoever seeks to please people at the cost of displeasing Allah, Allah will be displeased with him and will cause people to be displeased with him too." So if you feel alone, if love has never worked out for you, maybe it's because Allah wants you to build your relationship with Him first, before seeking love from His creation. Because no matter how strong a relationship is, it will always be temporary. The only love that is eternal, that never fails, and that never leaves you empty is the love of Allah. The real question is, are you seeking validation from people, or are you seeking closeness to the one who created you? Because when you find peace with Allah, everything else will follow in its right time. Number 6. When you are being prepared for something greater. Sometimes when love seems distant, when relationships don't work out, and when you feel isolated, it's not rejection, it's preparation. Allah removes certain things from your life, not to deprive you, but to prepare you for something far greater than you can imagine. Maybe it's a test to strengthen your heart. Maybe it's a sign that you have a mission that requires your full attention. Or maybe, just maybe, Allah is keeping you away from distractions so that He can give you something even better at the right time. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "No slave of Allah will truly believe until he believes in Al-Qadr, the divine decree, both the good and the bad, and until he knows that what has befallen him was never going to miss him, and what missed him was never meant to be his." Look at the lives of great scholars, leaders, and those who made a difference in this world. Many of them didn't live lives full of romance and attachments. Instead, they devoted themselves to something higher, and in doing so, they found fulfillment that no worldly relationship could ever bring. So if you feel like Allah has been keeping you away from love, ask yourself, could this be a sign that you are being prepared for something greater? Maybe a test of patience, a higher calling, or a lesson that will change your life forever. Because in the end, the one who trusts Allah's plan always wins. Number 7. When your patience is your greatest test. Nothing in life happens without a purpose. If love has been kept away from you, it's not by accident, it's a test. A test of patience, of trust, and of your ability to submit to Allah's plan rather than your own desires. Many people fail this test. They rush into relationships without considering whether it pleases Allah. They let loneliness push them toward haram, thinking it's a solution. But those who remain patient, those who choose faith over fleeting emotions, are the ones whom Allah honors. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Whoever remains patient, Allah will make him patient, and no one is given a gift better and more vast than patience." Patience is not simply about waiting, it's about trusting. Trusting that what is written for you will come at the right time. Trusting that if Allah has withheld something, it's because He knows what you do not. So ask yourself, will you let loneliness make you desperate, or will you use it as an opportunity to strengthen your relationship with Allah? At the end of the day, every test you face is shaping you for what's ahead. Those who trust in Allah's timing are never disappointed. Dear brothers and sisters, if love and relationships have always felt distant, know that it's not a punishment, it's part of Allah's plan. Whether it's to protect you, prepare you, or strengthen your faith, Allah never withholds something without reason. But the real question is, do you trust His timing, or are you still chasing something He is pulling you away from? Before you sleep tonight, take a moment to reflect. Have I been patient with Allah's plan, or have I been rushing my own? Am I seeking love in a way that pleases Allah, or am I following my own desires? If I were to stand before Allah today, would I be content with the choices I've made? Here's a simple dua to carry with you. Ya Allah, grant me patience in what I do not understand, and contentment in what you have written for me. If this message touched your heart, comment, Ya Allah, make me content with your plan below. Your words might inspire someone else who's struggling with the same test. And if you found this reminder beneficial, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free for you, but it helps us continue spreading messages that bring us closer to Allah. May Allah guide us all, protect our hearts, and bless us with what is truly best for us. Ameen. Surah An-Nazi'at 79:40-41.